Good afternoon, and welcome to my first podcast. I just now I have no idea what I'm going to call this podcast at all. So, hey ho. Today's the 25th of February 2012, and Valor Airsoft, the local airsoft group to Hansborough, are having their first game. In 2 or 3 weeks' time. Not too sure. I think it's about the 17th or 18th of March. So if you're listening to this and you know what airsoft is, feel free to join our Facebook page, and yeah, you'll get more information on Facebook. You'll find out whereabouts it is, and what sort of on what we're doing. Pretty much, I think we're doing a full weekender of airsoft. So on the Saturday or something, we'll go up to the farm, and then we'll camp out, and then on the Sunday, we'll get transport down to Fenwick, down to a place called Nomad Airsoft, which I highly recommend, just because it's a really cool place. And yeah, we'll have a weekend of airsoft. Yeah, I know I'm just going to ramble on here, but this is just getting me thinking about what I'm going to actually do for our first group podcast, because as you can tell, it's just me here. So, it's now been over, I think it's possibly 6 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's been 6 months and 15 days since I handed my rifle over to the over to a gun mech for upgrade because it was broken inside. But I can understand that because he's a rather busy man. I did have an opportunity last week to go up on either Monday morning or Tuesday morning, but I couldn't due to my dad working, so we decided to go up on Wednesday morning because, first of all, it was the gun mech's day off, and second of all, my dad wasn't working that day. But unfortunately, the guy's work caught up with him, and so he had to cover for somebody. But yeah, and now it's been another week since then, and we're still no close to getting it. Well, we might be close to getting it because we might be getting it tomorrow, but I doubt it because he hasn't really replied. But yeah, on the subject of airsoft, for those of you who don't know what it is, I don't want to belittle my sport here because that's not what I'm gonna do, but I will relate it to something. It's pretty much higher powered BB guns. Now, these can range from spring pistols, spring rifles, spring sniper rifles even, or it can range up to the very top at a three and a half grand full metal Vulcan minigun. Now that's just stupid, but I've seen people with them. It's unbelievable. Anyway, back on track. Um, I have spot. I'm a big fan of sniper rifles. I have an a well L96 up on in my room just now, sitting in the corner, so I can have a shoot at the pigeons if they come in. Well, I'm not allowed to, not meant to shoot at them, but I don't like them in the garden because they poo everywhere. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm a big fan of sniper rifles, and I've had my eye on some other airsoft rifles in the past. Oh well, not too long ago. G&G have actually just released a new rifle. Yeah, a new rifle. It's called the Kar 98. Um, yeah, it's a World War II rifle, and it's already been reviewed quite a bit. And I keep saying and arms and all this, but I'm doing it there. It's because I have no notes to go from. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. Yeah. So I've had my eye on this G&G Kar 98. It's a fantastic rifle. The gas is stored in the magazines, and you get two different power ratings. Don't know how it works. Two different power ratings for magazines. So you could either have a 350 FPS magazine or a 450 FPS, I think it is. So that means need to, if you want to, you can swap halfway through a game and upgrade your power rating if you so desire. I've also had my eye on some other rifles as well, namely the Shatak M200 intervention sniper rifles. Now, these sniper rifles have been made by about 3 different airsoft manufacturers just now. We have the Ares, the SOCOM gear, and the Beta Project. Now, the Ares Shatak is about £1,200. That's 1 grand plus, which comes with a spring bolt and a spring magazine. Or you can have it comes with both a spring and gas bolt and the spring and gas magazine. So that, once again, you can swap around. Now, I've heard that this rifle weighs in excess of 10 kilos. And now that's quite a lot if you're going to be slugging it around all day. And I've heard the range isn't too good on it, so if anything, I would recommend you stay away from that unless you're just going to have it as a showpiece. Now, the next rifle I shall talk about is the Shatak by SOCOM Gear. Now, SOCOM Gear, when somebody says the name SOCOM Gear, for airsoft anyway, people normally tend to think of the high-end 1911 pistols, which are fantastic. But their take on the M200 is unbelievable. Now, don't get me wrong, the SOCOM gear isn't cheap. It's about £800. Now, I know you're going to say that's outrageous for a piece of metal that chunks BBs out. But yes, it may be 400 quid cheaper than the Ares, but that's a good thing, I think. I showed my friend it the other day, and he was still astonished by the fact that it was 800 quid. Anyway, what SOCOM Gear have done on this one is they've made it as true to the original blueprints as possible. Now, you know how most airsoft manufacturers will say, "Oh, this is a one-to-one replica." They not really are, because things are missing, things are odd, out of place. But for this one, we know everything is the same, even the way the rifle field strips. The only thing that's different about the M200, the SOCOM Gear M200, is the fact that it fires 8mm airsoft BBs. Well, that's a given, and the fact that it's 20mm longer than it should be. Now, I don't know about you, but that's just outrageous. I mean, come on, SOCOM Gear. You meant to give us high quality rifles. I don't want something that's 20mm longer than it should be. I want something that's what it's meant to be. But anyway, that's me just taking the mick, because 20mm, nobody's going to notice, really. Anyway, don't know if I've mentioned this, but the SOCOM Gear is a version that you have shells that you can load the BBs into. So you get the magazine, which is a 7-round magazine, and you get these brass 408 shells, which you can insert one 8mm BB into. Now, I don't know about you, but that just gives me wonderful thinkings here, because you got this ultra-realistic rifle. Yes, it's only got 7 rounds maximum in it, but you're going to be a team's best friend. if you have this. Anyway, as I said, it does fire an 8mm BB. Now that's not the standard, because the standard is 6mm. And if you convert the power of the 8mm BB into what it would be if it was a 6mm BB, it comes out about 470 FPS-ish. I'm taking that from a magazine, so all that stuff about the FPS is directly from Airsoft Action, which is a magazine, a very good one. But I'm not. Yeah, I'd read it. It's a good magazine. Anyway, yeah, you're going to be your team's best mate because you have this. It's actually got pretty decent range and accuracy. I've heard. Right, enough about that one. The podcast is already coming up to 12 minutes. You've got the Beta Project M200. Now, Beta Project are a relatively new manufacturer on the block. They have recently produced the likes of the tactical AK-47, and they've also produced now, as I said, the M200. Now, Beta Project work very closely with Magpul, the real steel rifle manufacturer, and the quality of this rifle is fantastic. I've not handled one. I've read reviews, seen reviews of it. That looks fantastic. All metal, apart from bits that are meant to be plastic, which are very few. And I hasten to add, it's the cheapest of the lot as well. Now, when I say cheapest, it's still 450 quid. But comparing that to the Ares 1200 quid M200, this is phenomenal value for money here. Now, I'm still waiting to see what my parents say about me getting one. Now, I know this is going to be stupid because it seems unlikely because it's 450 quid. And it's still quite heavy, isn't it? But, yeah, it seems good. Right. Thank you for listening. I don't know if you've listened all the way through, but if you have, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Yeah, I'm going to try and bring it to a close now. But thanks for listening. This has helped me quite a lot, actually, figure out what I'm going to talk about. Well, I doubt what I'm going to talk about tonight on my official first podcast with my two other hosts. But if you like this, just me rambling on into the mic, then feel free to send me messages and tell me to do another one, which I'll do, but I've no idea what I'll do about. The first thing that comes to my head. So, I'd just like to say thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic week, actually. Cheerio.